Hi guys, good evening and welcome to another video on my channel, Football Canapes. And won't you just know it? It just seems like yesterday when we saw we saw the start of the 2022 World Cup, and we had Ener Valencia scoring twice against the host Qatar, and Qatar became the first side ever to lose their opening match as a host. And and now we are talking half of the matches, at least in terms of the number. 32 out of 64 are done, and we basically know uh, teams that will be eliminated and won't be part of the knockout stages. We also know teams that have qualified, but the bigger question remains about the teams that need to earn their places going into the pivotal round 3 of the group stage of the competition. And we've just had the last game from the group, and we had from group H, I mean, where Portugal beat Uruguay 2-0, and with two goals from Bruno Fernandes. So where are we? I mean, we have had, as I said, 32 goals. 32 games played, half a number. And let's just begin as to which team needs what going into the last round of matches. Let's start alphabetically from group A, and we'll go down from group A to group H, and then we'll figure out which teams have been eliminated. We all know which teams have been eliminated, but just we'll cast our eyes over which teams have been eliminated, which teams still, have destinies in their own hands, teams that can, still, you know, count on results from other teams, and teams that, you know, are basically out but are just hoping for a miracle. So, without any further ado, let's just begin with Group A, where we have host Qatar, who I said have already been eliminated. Then we have Netherlands, who are on 6 points. We have just a minute. So we have Ecuador on 4 points, Senegal on 3 points, and Qatar on 0 points, who are out because they can't catch the top two, who both have 4 points to their names. So Netherlands, they take on host Qatar, while Ecuador plays Senegal. It is like this. Netherlands, I think, will go through because both. Uh, if Netherlands will go through if they get a draw against Qatar or even beat Qatar. So Netherlands have their destiny in their own hands. If and to be honest, Netherlands, a team like Netherlands should be wiping the floor with the team like Qatar. They don't. In these two matches, we have seen basically nothing from Qatar to suggest that they will even compete against a team like Netherlands. And for Netherlands, knowing that they just need a draw should give them comfort going into the last round of matches. And I think they will comfortably beat Qatar in the last match. And Then it will come down to the game between Senegal and Ecuador. As things stand, Ecuador have one more point. Then Senegal lost to Netherlands, while Ecuador drew with the Netherlands. So it will, and that's how it is. So it's in Ecuador's hands. If they draw the game, if they draw the game, then they'll go through. If Senegal, they what Senegal. If let's just stick with Ecuador for now. Um, if Ecuador win against Senegal or draw against Senegal, they are basically through. Uh, and as for Senegal, they can't afford to lose that game. If they lose their game, that then they're out. If they draw, if they draw, then what happens is it could come down to the goal difference. If if Qatar somehow miraculously they can beat if they can somehow beat if they can somehow beat Netherlands, then if um, just a minute, there seems to be a net issue. Yeah, so if somehow Qatar beat Netherlands and Senegal draw with Ecuador, then there's a chance that uh, both Ecuador and Senegal can go through. In that case, Ecuador will go through as group winners, and Senegal will go through as the runners up. But then I don't think Senegal will. Or Qatar will have any sort of chance against this Dutch side, because their defense is too strong with Van Dijk. Depending upon who plays, whether it is Timber or whether it is Daily Blend, so it will come down to how many goals, in my opinion, this Dutch side can score. So that's what it will be. And yeah, so just to recap, if Netherlands beat or draw with Qatar, they are basically through. Depending upon the other result, then if they draw, then there's a chance that Ecuador can trump them and go through as group winners. Senegal, what they need is, if they beat Ecuador, they're through. If they draw, they'll have to depend on. Then they'll have to hope that Qatar can somehow beat the mighty Netherlands, which I don't see happening. So for me, um, it will be. Uh, it will be Netherlands and one of the other two. And as for who I am backing right now, I think Senegal look strong, and I am going to go with Senegal to go through with the Netherlands. I think Senegal beat Ecuador, and Netherlands beat Qatar in their game. So that's how I think that Group A will pan out, and that's how. I see that group as now that group finishing, and let's move on to Group B, where we have England, Wales, USA, and Iran. It's been an interesting Group B. Group B, England for now are top of the table. Iran are on 3 points. USA, who have been very impressive, they have been on. They are on 2 points, while Wales, they drew with USA in their first game. They are on 1 point, and so in the next game, England take on Wales, and USA take on Iran, and what Iran need, right? England. Let's talk about England and Wales first. The two home nations in this tournament, and yeah. So just a minute. So let's just discuss the three possibilities in this game. Uh, we have if England win against Wales, they are basically through as group winners. If England draw with Wales, then they're also through, because both Iran and USA cannot end up with the five points, and then if England lose to Wales, then their situation could become dicey. But given the fact that they, absolutely thumped Iran 6-2 in the first game, they are more or less safe, because if they end up with 4 points with a goal difference that is, let's say, +2, or worst case scenario +1, or if they lose, a scenario in which they lose by just a single goal, then +3, then I think they're more or less through, aren't they? They are. So then I think more or less it will come down to Iran and USA. Iran, if they win, they are through. USA, if they win, they're through. If it ends in a draw, then Iran will go through with England. Uh, and if let's say by some miracle Wales beat England, then they both end up on 4 points, and Iran and USA, that match ends in a draw, then both England and Wales will go through. So there are plenty of possibilities in this group. England, but I feel whether first or second, I think they'll end up first, are more or less through in this group, and Iran and USA. It will come down to both these teams. England would want to top the group and show the world that they are a real contender in this. Yeah, in this World Cup, especially as some teams have shown themselves to be, a little bit fragile. Mathematically, none of the teams are out. All teams can make it, but in reality, I don't think Wales. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibilities that Wales could make it through if they beat England, and Iran and USA ends in a draw. Then. Then I think, given the goal difference situation, Wales will go through along with England. And when they say stranger things have happened, they have, but it will be really strange if Wales were to go through I think England will go through. Second, I think, given the way USA have played, and USA Iran, a rivalry on the world stage, is something that will spur on both sets of players. And I think uh, I think that both it will both sets of players will want to show their prowess into going into this game. And yeah, so anything can happen in this game, but I I do fancy USA going through in this group along with England. Unfortunately for Iran and Wales, I think this is the end of the road, and that's what it is. Anyways, let's move on to the Group C. Move on to Group C. We have in Group C we have, of course, everybody's favorite, or at least my favorite, player, Lionel Messi. We have Poland, we have Mexico, and of course we have Saudi Arabia, who caused perhaps I'd say one of the biggest upsets in the history of in the World Cup, in the history of World Cup football. Whether you can talk about USA beating England in 1950 at Belo Horizonte, whether it is North Korea beating Italy at the 1966 World Cup in England, in Middlesbrough, whether it is Cameroon beating defending champions Argentina at Milan, at San Siro in Milan. So it'll be a it'll be a game which I mean, like, not a game, but like, they did Saudi Arabia did cause an upset, which the tremors of which were felt around the world. So let's move on to this group, um, and let's talk about the standings. Poland are on 4 points, Argentina are on 3 points, Saudi Arabia are on 3 points, and Mexico are on a solitary point. In the next match, Poland take on Argentina and Saudi Arabia take on Mexico. Both, just one important factor to keep in mind in this um, third phase is that there are no early kickoffs. The matches will be starting at 3 p.m. GMT, and then 7 p.m. GMT. So it will be relatively late. So the heat shouldn't come into these matches. So let's see what I see happening. Um, Poland are currently top of the group. Poland take on Argentina. If Poland win somehow, then then I think Argentina are out. Of course, they are, because Saudi Arabia and Mexico, whoever wins will end up on 4 points, and Argentina on three. So That's uh, that's uh, that's one thing. So if Poland win, Argentina are out. But I think Argentina will beat Poland in this match. They'll go on 6 points. Poland will remain on four. And then Saudi Arabia versus Mexico. Whoever wins, Saudi Arabia, if they beat Mexico, they will go along with whoever wins that match. That game against Poland Argentina, that encounter, if that match ends in a draw, then it will come down to the match between Saudi Arabia and Mexico. If Mexico basically do need to win. If they draw, they're out. If they lose, they're out. They need to win. If they win, they go on 4 points, and then depending upon the result of the Poland Argentina match, uh, if that match ends in a draw, then Poland are on 5 points, Argentina are on 4 points, Mexico are out because their goal difference is much the inferior of what Poland and Argentina have. But I think that match, there's a possibility that that match ends in a draw, or maybe Saudi Arabia win. So that really puts the cat among the pigeons. I think Saudi Arabia in these two matches, against Poland and of course against Argentina, have shown that they have another upset in them. Can they beat Mexico? I think they can. Will they? I'm not sure. So all the possibilities in this game are open. But I have a hunch that Saudi Arabia, who are a close neighbor of Qatar, I think they could do the business against Mexico. If they win, they could even top the group. As for the main talking point here is Argentina. They they need to Argentina need to make things happen, because a draw could leave them vulnerable, very vulnerable. They have to make things happen. And if Lionel Messi wants to, lift the World Cup before retiring, because I have no doubt in my mind that this is the last chance for Messi to win the World Cup. They have to win, and I think against Poland they will. Argentina, that is, and then it will all come down to the, as they say, the terminology is as the kingmakers. I think the Mexico versus Saudi Arabia match will be the kingmaker, and I have a hunch. This is based on how Saudi Arabia performed so far in this tournament. I am going to say Saudi Arabia could do the business, and that includes the information that Guardado, who's been one of the Argentina's finest players, uh, could be out. He hobbled off in the last game against Argentina, and Messi with 2 goals so far in the tournament. About Lionel Messi, he has now assisted in five World Cup tournaments. So I'm I think Messi will be on it, and unfortunately, Poland will be on the wrong end of it, and then it's a really interesting group. I just have a feeling Argentina will go through, and I think uh, it will be Saudi Arabia and not Poland. That penalty miss of Robert Lewandowski against Mexico could really, come back to haunt the Poland side. So that's how I think Group C will happen. Uh, I am a I am a bit of a Messi fan, so good for me. Let's see. I am hoping that Argentina can top the group, and avoid France in the round of 16, where Argentina were eliminated last time round against France, of course, in the 2018 World Cup. They lost 4-3. They lost 4-3. If you remember that superb goal by Benjamin Pavard in Russia. So that's how I think it'll be. And talking of France, let's move to Group D again. Another group, another situation where we find one of the teams that was expected to do well, kind of hanging on, and taking their lives into their own hands with some of the performances that they have given so far in this tournament. So in Group D, we have France on 6 points, Australia are on 3 points, Denmark on a single point, and Tunisia on 1 point. So this group, France are through basically, because Tunisia can't catch them, and Denmark and Australia uh, play each other. So both of them can't overtake them. It's just down to the placings, whether the France national team come first or second. Given the goal difference that they have, I think they are, more or less guaranteed to finish first in their group. So it's basically down to the game between Australia and Denmark. Uh, if the game ends in a draw, then then Tunisia are not out. Sorry, Tunisia are not out, not by a long stretch. So if let's say Denmark beat Australia, they go on 4 point, and Then it comes down to Tunisia. If they can somehow beat France, as unlikely as it sounds, we have to take into account that possibility. So if Tunisia somehow can beat France, the defending World Cup champions, they go on 4 points, and it will come down to goal difference. If if Denmark can beat Australia, then it will come down to the goal difference. However, I don't see Tunisia getting a favorable result against France, so I'm discounting them for now. Denmark versus Australia. I think Denmark will beat Australia. Denmark have too much quality. They were unlucky as in, like, they could have gotten a draw against France, which would have had a different complexion on this group. So so it will be down to this game between France and Australia, basically, for me. And I think it will be a tense game, where I see Denmark just overcoming Australia. And then I think, given the situation, France and Denmark from this group will go through, just like they did in 2018 World Cup, where these two teams were together in Group C, as it was then. And that's what it is. Denmark for basically, Australia just need a draw for their qualification. Denmark need a win. Tunisia need a win, and then they need to they would hope that the game between uh, Australia and Denmark finishes all square. And then if they can somehow beat France, then there's a chance that they could qualify, which they very well could. It will all come down to the goal difference between Australia and Tunisia. And that's how I see. That's Australia have a goal difference of -2, and Tunisia of -1. So it will come down to actually it will come down to goals for, because if Tunisia don't win by more than a goal, then it will come down to goals scored, and then anything could happen, and we shouldn't basically be going into those into those into those theories. But simply put, Tunisia need to beat France, which I don't see happening. And Denmark, they need to beat Australia. Australia just need a draw to go through, and that's as simply as I can put it. Let's see what happens. But for me, if I had to put my neck on the line, which in this case isn't saying that much, but I think Australia and Denmark, for me, will go through from this group. Let's move on to Group E, where we had, you know, where we had, where we have Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, and Japan. So this group has an interesting dynamic as well. Let's talk about the same. Spain are currently on 4 points. Japan are on 3 points. Costa Rica are on 3 points, and Germany are on a solitary point. So in the next games, Spain, Japan, let's talk about the possibilities from that game, and then Costa Rica, Germany. So Spain, if they beat Japan, they're through, and then Japan are basically out. Uh, Basically out. If Japan lose, they're out. If Spain win, they go through as group winners. If Spain versus Japan ends in a draw, then Spain will go through. I'll explain how they can finish second in the group. And if Japan beat Spain, which is unlikely, then Japan will go through, and it will come down to uh, then it will come down. Then I think Spain will go through because their goal difference is so far superior to Germany and Costa Rica, that it's unlikely. I don't see that happening. But in that case, Japan will go through as group winners, and Spain, in my opinion, they will go through as group runners up. So that's how it is. But what is the likely? And let's just discuss what I see happening between Costa Rica and Germany. If Costa Rica win, they go through, simply, simple as that. So and if if Germany win, then it will depend on the goal difference. If the match between Spain and if the match between Spain and Japan ends as a draw, so then it will come down to the goal difference, which uh, of course Japan would have a superior goal difference, and Japan will go through if Germany beat Costa Rica, and Spain versus Japan ends in a draw. So, mm, can I see Spain taking chances? I don't know, but I for me now, Japan need to win. Basically, a draw could help them. Um, a draw could help them, so they need to be careful, because they would, in their hearts of hearts, believe that Germany will beat Costa Rica. So then they'll have to play a little weighing game as to which position they want to take with themselves, and that's how it will be. So uh, it's it's complicated to explain. Basically, if Spain win, they go through. Germany will have to hope that somehow not somehow, but like Spain do them a favor, and do beat Japan, and then Germany have to go out and beat Costa Rica, which is not as easy as it sounds, because Japan, the last time round in 2018, Germany had to beat South Korea. They actually lost 2-0. So it will come down to the possibilities. Germany just know this, that they have to beat Costa Rica. There is no other way. Yes, they have to rely, but they have to do their job first. So there are a lot of possibilities in this group, to be honest. And yeah, so basically what I see happening is, I think favorites will win these two matches. Spain, I think, will beat Japan, and Germany, I think, will beat Costa Rica. Just one thing about this thing. There's a slight chance that Japan Spain could end in a draw. Then also I see that Japan will, you know, sorry, Germany will beat Costa Rica quite comfortably, which means that their goal difference would increase by quite a bit, and they would go through, as the runners up in the group. So that's how what I see happening in this group. But for me, Japan and Costa Rica are out, and Spain and Germany will go through in that particular order. Spain as winners and Germany as runners up. That brings us round nicely to Group F. Group F, where you know Croatia, Belgium, two beaten semi-finalists from oh no, not beaten semi-finalist. Belgium, who lost in the semi-finals to France, and Croatia then lost to France in the final of the 2018 World Cup in Moscow. So let's see. Just to give you one hint, just last I checked, I'll check again while talking to you. Germany and Japan, Croatia and Belgium, one of the teams is heading out. One of the two. So, Group F, here are the standings. Croatia are on 4 points. Morocco are on Uh, Morocco are on 4 points and Belgium are on three. Canada on zero. So just looking at the table, there's a chance that Croatia and Belgium could make it through. Um, it basically would be like this. Let's just discuss the matches first. Croatia take on Belgium. If Croatia win, Belgium are out. If it ends in a draw, then if Canada beat Morocco, it will come down to the goal difference. Canada then basically would need to comfortably beat Morocco for that to happen. If Croatia versus Belgium ends in a draw, then if then Belgium would need to beat Croatia for them to go through. Um, so it's really complicated as to who basically goes through from this group. Let's just discuss what I see happening, and then we'll work around this thing as to what I see happening. This is really complicated to explain as to what can or cannot happen in this group. Let's Okay. So Croatia are on 4 points. If they beat Belgium, they are through. Belgium are out. If Croatia Belgium ends in a draw, then Canada would need to beat Morocco quite comfortably for them, for Belgium to go through, and then Morocco will, if Croatia beat Belgium, enter in a draw, then Canada would need to beat Morocco. If Belgium beats Croatia, then also it will come down to the result between Morocco and Canada. If that match ends in a draw, then basically Morocco are through. It depends. It just depends. They'll go through as runners up basically, um, because it's really complicated. It's late, and then it's playing around with my mind as well. So if Croatia versus Belgium ends in a draw, Croatia are on 5 points, Belgium are on four, and then if Morocco Canada ends in a draw, then of course Morocco are on 5 points and Belgium are out. So Belgium have it all to do. They need to they need to beat Croatia to have destiny in their own hands. And given the way they have performed so far in this tournament, It's hard to see how they'll get the better of the midfield three of Croatia, that is of Modric, Kovacic, and Brozovic. So it's tough. It's tough. I think Morocco will go through, and teams from one of the teams, that is Belgium or Croatia, will head out. There's a chance that both of them could make it, but it's a reasonable chance. It's not a miracle. Canada have been playing well in their two games. They were unlucky to lose against Belgium. They missed a penalty, and yeah, so that's what it is, and yeah, so I think Morocco will go through, and the reasonable probability would say that Belgium, one of Belgium or Croatia, will go out. So may the best team go through, and because I think Morocco, you would agree, has been have been absolutely fantastic. They are yet to concede even a single goal in this tournament, and I can see them beating or at least not losing to Canada. So Morocco will go through for me, and then it depends on the match between Belgium and Croatia. What happens? I think Belgium have one last hurrah left in them, and Hazard, De Bruyne, uh, Lukaku could be back, and who else? Carrasco, if he plays. Tillemans could play. He didn't play yesterday, so it'll be interesting as to what happens in this group. But Morocco will go through, and I think Belgium beat Croatia and they go through. So Belgium and Morocco from my side, based on what I've seen, and what results are needed, and the quality of players that the both teams possess. So let's move on to Group G, which has Brazil in it, and so I'm not sure if any of you saw the game between Brazil and Switzerland earlier on. Cameroon versus Serbia was another stonker of a match. So Brazil will play. Brazil will play Cameroon in the next game, and Brazil are basically through. Switzerland will play Serbia. Uh, if Brazil, as I said, are through, and Cameroon, for they need a win to go through against Brazil in the next match, which I can't see happening. I know Neymar will be out for the game against Cameroon as well, but Cameroon need a win, and hope that Switzerland versus Serbia ends in a draw, or Serbia beat uh, Serbia beat Switzerland, and then it will be coming down to the goal difference between Cameroon and Serbia. Both will end up on 4 points, but realistically, Cameroon, I don't think they have it in them to beat Brazil. So I think for me they're out, but mathematical probability is there that they could draw against. They could beat Brazil. So we have to discuss that, and then more importantly, I think if Serbia can beat Switzerland, they'll go through. If Serbia versus Switzerland ends in a draw, then Switzerland will go through, courtesy of their win against Cameroon in the last game, where Bri Limbolo scored the only goal of the game. So It will be interesting. The probabilities are there for all four teams. None of the teams have been eliminated. Brazil are definitely through. Who goes through with them, realistically, or in terms of football prowess? I think it depends on Switzerland and Serbia, and I'm going to go with Switzerland. They look a better side, and yeah, so I think Switzerland won't lose to Serbia. They could even win, and then I think Switzerland and Brazil will go through in this game. And with Switzerland, no, they have a very good defense, and Switzerland have just conceded a single goal, and they know realistically a draw works for them, and I can't see Cameroon beating Brazil by a you know decent sort of a margin for them to qualify over Switzerland. So that's how I think this group will finish. Brazil and Switzerland to go through with me, and that brings us nicely to the last group, Group H. Group H. Group H. So Portugal are on 6 points. They are basically through. Portugal through. That depends whether Ghana can can overtake them to be the group winners, because the next round draw will be crucial as well for both teams, all the teams basically, and and yeah. So what now needs to happen is if Ghana beat Uruguay in the next match, they could end up on 6 points. But their goal difference is far inferior to that of Portugal, so they need to win big. And of course, they also need Portugal to lose, so that will help them as well. And so Ghana could, quite conceivably finish top of the group, but then the not only they, no, do they need to beat Uruguay, which would be tough. I'll explain in the next couple of minutes. But they also need lose. Portugal to lose against. I'm sorry, it's a bit late. It's almost half past three. Half past three in the morning, and yeah. So let's talk about Uruguay, who lost to Portugal in their game just now, just about an hour ago, and and yeah. So Uruguay, if they beat Ghana, they'll go on 4 points. South Korea would need to beat Portugal; they will go on 4 points. So it will come down to goal difference between South Korea and Uruguay. Can South Korea beat Portugal? If Portugal would want to finish top of the group. I mean, they would be wanting one of. They would want to avoid Brazil, who I think will finish top of Group G. So Portugal would want to finish top of the group. So unlikely that South Korea would trouble Portugal that much. I can't see it happening. It could happen, but then I can't see. So I can only give you what I think. So I think South Korea won't beat Portugal, but they need South Korea need to beat Portugal, and then hoping Uruguay beat Ghana. So that could happen, and because let's talk about Uruguay, because they're a high profile side. For Uruguay to go through, much like Germany, they need to beat Ghana in the next match. And if Ghana versus South Korea versus Portugal match will then be. will be, what do you call, academic in nature, and let's see what happens. But Uruguay need to beat. A draw won't do them any good. Uruguay need to beat Ghana in the next match, which won't be easy. We've seen Ghana; they've done reasonably well. They score goals. They've scored 5 goals, and Uruguayan defense we saw today looked a bit shaky. So Uruguay would need to pull up the socks and beat Ghana. But the way things are, I think Portugal beat South Korea, or at least don't lose to them, and then I think Uruguay will beat Ghana, and Portugal and Uruguay from this group go through as Portugal as group winners and Ghana as and Uruguay as runners up. So these are my 8 groups analyzed and explained in detail what I see happening, what I think will happen, what teams need. Of course, what I think happens may or may not happen, and we'll see what comes about. The next round of matches starts on Tuesday. We're already in Tuesday. In my country, at least, we are on the time zone that we are on. We are in Tuesday already, so not too late to think about that. And let's see what happens. Anyways, that's it from my side. I'll see you in my next few videos, which will be about the World Cup itself, and then we'll discuss what other things have happened, need to happen, and probably will happen on some cases, probably not. So I'll take care. I'll take your leave, and I'll see you in my next few videos. It's already late, and I'm almost, half asleep. So take care. I'll see you in my next few videos. Bye.